school, I was very bad at science. I was advised not to go any further with chemistry over the age of 13. Biology I never really understood, and physics I crashed and burned. So when I look at this, it amazes me. What is this? An oyster shell. And it's hard. It's as hard as anything. It's amazing to think that this is one of the miracles of science. One of the most amazing miracles, seems to me, is that miracle where the little wormy thing, called a caterpillar, I think, is that right? Goes into a cocoon. Is this right? Have I got the right animal? I could have it wrong. And then it comes out with wings. I mean, what's that about? That's insane. A little wormy thing called a caterpillar manages to get this funny bubble, and it comes out with wings. Where did the wings come from? Could it come out with bigger legs? Slightly larger eyes? It comes out with wings. It's a wonderful story of transformation. A wonderful story of transformation. Now I'm going to tell you something that you probably may be skeptical of, some of you. Here at Christchurch School, we believe in your transformation. We think, well, what are you talking about? We believe in the fact that you can change. We believe in the fact that everybody can change. And in fact, if I'm going to be theological about it, we believe that everybody can be changed. I believe that we need some help in changing, in becoming the person that we're called to be. Sometimes, and often in fact, we need help along the way to see where the road should go. And I want to share with you two images of transformation. One of them is a bit like the caterpillar. If I don't, am I making a mistake? It is a caterpillar, right? Somebody help me out here. Anybody do science? Okay. I've been very insecure with my lack of scientific knowledge. Caterpillar becoming a butterfly. Put your hand up, even in secret, without raising it, if you've ever felt like a caterpillar from time to time. Low to the ground, squirming, eating things you shouldn't. Sometimes we can feel like caterpillars, waiting for somebody to tread on us, wipe us off their shoe. For me, it was my physics teacher. I don't know who it is for you. We can feel like caterpillars. And we're waiting for that moment when we're going to turn into that beautiful butterfly and have that freedom to fly away. Seniors, you ever felt like a caterpillar? Like you're going to get squashed by that term paper? Crushed by the exam? You're waiting to grow those wings. You've got them, they're there, they're flapping like crazy. Then you fly out of that bell tower, all the way to college, to do some more work. Oh, sorry, missed that bit. Waiting to be transformed, waiting for transformation. What I hope that you can understand from your time in our worship at Christchurch and our pursuit of spiritual things is that we're about your transformation, and God is about your transformation, because, as it says in that reading, I have called you by name. Not I have called you a name, I've called you by your true name. I've called you by the name that you truly answer to, the name perhaps that not even you recognize, who you truly are. And once you know who you truly are, there you go. Once you know who you truly are, he knows his true name. Children always do. Once you know your true name, you can begin to think about that second part of the transformation. Think about it. This crusty thing here, crustated thing, whatever the word is, began as a little spat. No, what are they not called spats? Are they called spats? Bits? Spat. Uncountable now. Over there in that, well, not this one maybe, but over there in that tank. What a beginning. Smiley. Throw him in there. I'm gently laying them in there and very careful, nurturing them in fact, until that time when they are transformed into something that's going to end up in that river. And what's the miracle of science that these things are responsible for? Does anybody know a little bit of science for you? Even I picked this up. What do they do to that river? They purify it. Ooh, preach it, brother. They purify the river. How many gallons per day? 2 or 3? 50 or 60? Is that right? How many gallons per day? How many a year? You know what that out? Lots of gallons. How many gallons do you drink a day? How many gallons does a human being? There's got to be some scientists here. How many gallons does a human being drink a day?
1.
Less than 1. 50 or 60 gallons? This little thing? You've got to be kidding me. A miracle of science. These oysters, they know what their true purpose is: transform the world around us. That's wonderful. And you are being prepared at this school for nothing less than that, transforming the world around you, because you are called to be transformed by the one who's responsible for all of this. God. So we went to the National Holocaust Museum, and it says on a huge big wall, very striking, "You are my witnesses." And what are we going to witness to? We went and saw the terrible things that happened during the Holocaust. And then we went outside, and the sun somehow seemed too bright, too glaring. And we went and we got some lunch, and we went on from there to the National Mall, and we walked around. We saw the Washington Monument, and then we walked up to Old Abe's chair. And Marcus tried to climb in it, but you shouldn't have done that. That was too fast, sorry. And then we sat on the steps. I've always wanted to do that. There's a scene in The Line of Five. Have you seen that, Clint Eastwood? Sits on the steps eating ice cream. I know things about people, Lily. That's what he says. I've seen the film about 22 times. But anyway, I wanted to sit on the Lincoln steps. And I sat down and I said, guys, what do you make of this? Here we are, these monuments to freedom. These monuments to all the things that could be good about the world. And we've just been in this place to all the things that can be bad about the world. What do you do with that in the same city, just a few hundred yards away from each other? And I was given a lesson in theology by 3 great thinkers. Marcus said, you've got to have faith. You've got to believe. You've got to believe. That's what you do. You've got to believe. And then first Lawrence said, you've got to make sure it doesn't happen again. You've got to do something. Sometimes we call that charity, in the old-fashioned sense. You've got to do something. You can't stand by. You've got to make sure it doesn't happen again. And then Jake was starting off this fantastic philosophical exploration, told us about Pandora's box. And all these terrible things came out of the box. And the last thing that led to great suffering on the earth, and the last thing that was left in the box was, anybody know? Hope. Faith. Charity. Hope. I mean, that's pretty scriptural if you ask me. So you are God's witnesses. You get to be a part of changing the world around you. And that's your homework for this summer from Chapel. I want you to think about your own life and think, how am I being transformed in this school? And how am I being prepared for transformation? What transformation am I going to do? And how's that going to begin in me today? That's my prayer for you. You can make a difference. You can be part of God's building of His kingdom of peace and love and justice. You can be like that oyster. Who thought one oyster could purify a whole river? Who thought that one human being could make a difference? And you can. And that's my prayer for you, for seniors, for juniors, for sophomores, for freshmen, and for 8th graders, for all our faculty, for our whole community. You are his witnesses. Amen.